It's now estimated that between 50 and 80% of positive tests create false positives. So up to 80% of people who are testing positive haven't really got the virus, and if they have got the virus, they're not ill. And I think it might be accurate to say that in all of the cases, almost all of the cases, we're talking 95%, 98% plus of all the cases that are being identified now as positive tests through positive testing, people aren't ill. So it's mainly young people who have no symptoms whatsoever, or they're young and they shake a cold off after a couple of days, and it's gone, because there are no, for all intents and purposes, there are no hospital admissions and then consequently deaths now. So the testing seems to me to be really unreliable. So masks don't work, seemingly. The tests don't work, and yet this government, our government, and other governments around the world are still intent on testing and publishing test results every single day, and it doesn't make sense when they really should still be talking about hospitalizations and deaths. Because there's another theory, and apparently this has been proven before with other viruses, is that viruses mutate, and this one mutates, I think, reportedly very slowly, but in its mutation there is a theory that it's actually mutated to be less virulent, so it affects people less than the virus would have done back in the spring. And again, it's a theory. The theory goes that viruses want to pass from host to host, and so they have an interest, even though they're so small, they won't have any brains or anything. They're barely considered to be live things. There is a thought that in order for them to survive and pass from one host to another, that they need to be less dangerous, so people don't get ill, because once people die, then what happens is that the virus is unable then to pass on to someone else. So there's a whole number of theories and reasons why we should be a lot less worried about the impact of coronavirus. And yet, the kids are going back to school. There's discussion about mask wearing. I think it's inevitable that there will be some localized lockdowns. So kids might have to work from home once again. There's talk of universities not doing face-to-face lectures, doing everything online apart from tutorials. And some universities have put really stringent restrictions on people's ability to socialize and do the sort of things that students do, like partying and such like. And some of them under the threat of fines and expulsions. So, and yet we know that young people don't die of this. Now, there have been a handful of cases that very young people have died, and they've died with coronavirus. But in every single case it was reported in the last week, the children who died were already seriously ill from something else. So we have a virus that's potentially getting less dangerous, that's disappearing, that is not putting people in hospital, not killing people. It feels that we're very close, if the government really wanted to do it, we're very close to getting back to living normally and living with this virus as something that will occasionally strike down an old and frail person. But if people are reasonably active and healthy, then the chances are that they're going to survive it, even if they get ill for a short while. So there's a bit of optimism. There is a good chance that we're going to possibly be back to normal before Christmas. So let's hope so.